Hey everybody, and welcome to my N5 series on the Dirty Wave M8, where I cover a topic in about 5 minutes. I today wanted to talk with you about kind of getting like some glitchy or like switched up randomized breaks. Like how would you go about doing that? So I've created a pattern chain 10 with just a phrase 01 it's empty. So the chain is 10 is 4 bars long. And if I come over here, I have already loaded up this. No, wrong one. Here's the break. So I got this break. It's 100 BPM. I've set the project BPM to 100 already, and I had checked it out. And if I go hit edit and slice it to 16, I'd looked at it. I was like, this is close enough to work with. So I just set the slice in the sample to 16. I don't think I did anything else. Oh, I did set table tick to 0, 0, and I'll get to that in a second. But just to set this up, basically, just go through and just enter the notes. So we're only doing like half of we're just doing 1 bar. That's like a 2 bar loop, but it's playing through fine because we got the same BPM and we're just playing the chops sequentially. So a couple things we can do that I could just program in. For example, I always like with the chance command here and F5. It's saying the chance of playing the left note is always 100%, and doing whatever's on the right is 33%. So I could do something kind of fun or tricky where I could do a retrigger, for example, and do an RNL so that we could randomize this particular note, basically retriggering at 1 tick, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. 1 tick is basically a 16th note, so we kind of get a double tap, and a retrigger of 1 is going to sound like a ratchet kind of. So effectively, what this is saying is always play the note, play this like hat note or whatever's on it, and then 33% of the time it's going to do the retrigger, and then we're just saying that RNL is saying that the value on the left just go from 0 to 6 and pick a number. And it's going to do that every time. So if I took this and copied it and pasted it everywhere here, or like every other note, this is what we get. You can hear, kind of go like that double hit. And it's not going to happen all the time. It's just something that will happen occasionally and maybe sound kind of cool. So I, however, would say this is kind of like a basic way of doing some of this stuff. I would personally, I actually like using the chance to like pick different slices instead because I think it sounds more fun. So I'm going to go over and do slice. So like right now, this is slice 3. So we might say, swap it here and here. Maybe we take this and get like that extra drum. So it'll be harder to hear that it's changed up the pattern here. But you can kind of hear. It gets just a different feel to it once in a while. So this is something else I like to do for fun. And I personally like to do more of the chance stuff where, as I said, you're picking slices. The reason for this is if we go over here, if you set table tick to 0, 0, what it's going to do is, if you're not familiar with tables, it kind of looks up and decides like what values you're going to use for notes, volume, and then whatever like effects that you want to run in the track. Now, if you do 0, 0, it's just going to do 1 per note trigger. And it actually will, if it hits like some of those ratchet notes that we don't have right now, but if it hits a ratchet note, sometimes it'll re-trigger and cause all kinds of fun things to happen by moving around the table a little bit more. But we can jump around the table, we can randomize it and do some other fun stuff. So I usually like to come in here, and sometimes I'll even do something fun where just every other note I'll drop the velocity some amount just so that it like randomly will have like a different sound to it for just that. It just adds a little bit of random characteristic. When you're working with chops, I would suggest not using the note column unless you've like really practiced to know what you're doing, because what it's going to do is basically changing this is going to change what slice out of your chop that you're grabbing, and can get a little bit complicated and need a bit of math to see what's going on. So you can see here, I've got 0, 5 on some of these. I'm taking those out and just going to leave it 0, 0 for right now. And in a different video, I'll show like what I would do if you're just doing more of like a one-shot sound and you wanted to kind of play around. So right now, if we come back and play it, you're going to see every note that's getting triggered. It's just kind of walking its way through this table. Well, if you want to get really goofy with this, something we can do is a table hop, and we can then put in an RNL. And if you put this to, actually it's easier just to go up and then left. We'll just go to F. It's going to basically say jump somewhere in the table every time it kicks off. So you're seeing like when I restart, it's kind of moving later in the table. And what this can do for us is kind of a fun thing, because basically, if you think about the percentage chance that you're going to be at the start of the table or the end of the table, it allows you to think about kind of how intense or what kinds of things you want, or like what's the frequency. Because once it hits it, it's going to keep stepping through until it gets to the end, and then we'll hit this again and restart. And it's always going to start at the top of the table and jump down. So for a example, I usually leave like the top 3 or 4 of these empty, just so that we get some clean notes. But let's say we want to do something like we actually do want to retrigger, and we'll keep it at 0, 0. We'll do another RNL. I'm going to set this one to 6. And then I want to do a send a delay, because we're going to send this over and out. Let's go do like a C0. We'll do full volume over to the delay. This is only going to happen once in a while. Another fun thing we can do here is we can do like a degrade. We can tell the sound to go through and be like a little grittier and crunchier. And when we do that, maybe we don't want, like we want to hard code what the filter is. Maybe we want to do a low pass filter and have a aggressive cutoff where it'll be crunchy, but it will be filtered out to get kind of some of those high-end artifacts out of the way. We could just do a straight up delay on the note and then throw in like a pitch bend. I'm just kind of randomly grabbing stuff here because, so let's go down. We'll do a down pitch bend. So we'll be echoing it while we're pitch bending at the same time. It could sound good, could sound terrible. From here, I would say like maybe we do a more aggressive, so it will be a bit more aggressive of a ratchet here. And, you know, we could, actually, let's go play style. We'll change the play from being forward to, we'll just go reverse is fine. We'll just have it play backwards and be ratcheted backwards. Anyway, even just with this, like this is just a few things here, but if I play this now, you can hear, like it kicked off right away. It just went from the table hop and went straight into the first one, but now you can see it's kind of hanging out where we don't have anything else going on. And now it's just kind of moving around. So I'm happy to do some more of these for people that are interested in some of these recipes, but I just wanted to show you at least a little bit of how you can kind of grab some of these things and just mix them up and get some fun different variations and patterns. Anyway, guys, thanks for stopping by. Keep making music, keep having fun. Remember, if it sounds good, it is good. And peace.